itself is a cancerous tumor that has eaten into the very fabric of our existence. It is commonsensical and logical that if it takes a man with 2 legs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Nigerian justice system has failed the common man.
And the reason why that girl presents her body to that lecturer from her practice is because she is fully aware.
And in our own education system, corruption is a culture. How can bribery not be a way of life?
Hello and welcome to the Expression Debates, brought to you by Young Stars Foundation with support from DFID Nigeria and other partners. This youth initiative is created to give a voice to the Nigerian youth to increase their participation in contemporary national issues. My name is Anastasia Odo, and together with me in the studio is
Mariam Junaidu, and I am happy that you could join us on today's episode, which promises to be fun and engaging. It's been a battle of brains, wits, and oratory as 32 audacious undergraduate teams from over 20 tertiary institutions in Nigeria emerged from the regional auditions in Enugu, Lagos, and Abuja to get to this grand finale. It's been quite a journey.
Wow, it has been an amazing journey. I mean, watching the entire 32 teams now moving through the elimination series into the semi-finals where we have 16 teams now standing. Well, for me, it has been an emotional journey watching some of the amazing teams being crushed as they try to get to the next stage of the competition. But it is a competition, like I said, someone has got to win and someone has got to lose. But the battle is still on for the grand prize of 500,000 naira, second prize 300,000 naira, and third prize 200,000 naira.
You know, for this amount of money as an undergraduate, even as a graduate, it's not going to be a bad idea to be a part of this competition. What do you think?
I think so too.
Anyways, today promises to be worth your time as viewers get to win cool stuff too. We'll go on a short break now. When we return to give you the highlights of today's package. Stay on this channel.
Welcome back. This is the Expression Debate, brought to you by Young Stars Foundation with support from DFID Nigeria and other partners. This youth initiative is created to give the Nigerian youth a voice to speak and increase their participation in contemporary national issues. So, Miriam, what do we have for our amazing audience today?
We have a lot of exciting stuff for you all as 2 teams were debating on the topic. The practice of state and local government joint accounts is a major hindrance to effective governance at the grassroots. So since it's an elimination series, each team stands just one chance, just one, to move to the grand finale and closer to the star prize of 500,000 naira.
Amazing. Our viewers are not left out. You could join in our weekly competition to win Richard cards and also join our campaign at Choose Integrity, and you stand a chance to win wonderful, wonderful prizes.
To participate and win, log on to our website on the screen or check us out on our social media platforms for more information.
Well, on today's episode, the debate topic is the practice of the state and local government joint account is a major hindrance to the effective governance at the grassroots. What is your take on this topic, Miriam?
For me, I think since the state government have been allocating money to the local government to make positive impacts at the grassroots level, and it's been working. But then, if they have separate accounts, I think probably it might actually be more effective. But then, of course, that's just my opinion. But I'm sure our debaters will definitely have more to say on the topic. But before we move to the debate arena, let's just go to the streets and see what Nigerians have to say about this.
For local governments and state governments, they are in one account. It's fraudulent, most especially from the state government's part. Because why I say this, even the actual money the federal government is appropriating to the state on behalf of the local government, they are not giving them fully. And when you see all these our local governments, presently, they are not functioning again. So to me, I against the joint accounts within the local government and the state.
It can be effective, to be sincere, local government and state government running the same account. No, this is local government and this is a state. So local government should have access to their own accounts. Local government should able to generate a revenue that we can able to sustain the local government. So it's not necessary local government and state government to have the same account. No, it's not good.
Wow, amazing views coming from Nigerians there. Public opinion, I must tell you, really matters. But it's time to move to the debate arena proper, where we meet our debaters argue for and against the motion.
Yes, so for today, we'll be having Team Dunamis from the University of Ibadan and Team Lion from the University of Lagos.
To begin with, it is important to have basic understanding of the joint account policy before assessing its effectiveness. Sections 162, subsections 5 and 6 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, provides for the state joint local government account to the effect that federal allocations to local government councils shall be paid to the said joint account for onward transfer to the local councils by the respective state governments. This policy saw the light of day in 1979, before the twilight of night in 1989. Yet again, in 1999, the non-autochthonous military handed-down constitution resurrected this policy, and ever since, it has been a tale of woes and more woes. The first tale of woe is that the joint account policy fully qualifies as a major hindrance to grassroots development, in that it stands against one of the basic principles of effective governance and development, the principle of financial autonomy. According to an article posted on The Guardian on the 7th of May 2009, Mr. Celestine Igberi, the Ebonyi State Chairman of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, called for an amendment of the constitutional provision legalizing the state local government joint account, arguing that it hinders proper funding and autonomy of councils in Nigeria. His argument, which tallies with my argument, is that the state local government joint account, to a very large extent, due to the fact that it makes local governments entirely at the mercy of state governments for the funds which they run on. What worsens this situation is that the internally generated revenues of local councils is really low in Nigeria, as seen in Chapter 4 of Contemporary Issues in Local Government Administration in Nigeria, edited by Iyabo Olojede and 2 others. Let not my opponent attempt to downplay the role of financial independence in effective governance, for even they, as vibrant undergraduates, can relate to the fact that a good idea without a corresponding good account balance would lead to nowhere. Furthermore, facts prove beyond reasonable doubt that state governments have abused the joint account policy aimed at preventing corruption and have turned it into the chief facilitator and forerunner of corruption.
Background of the subject matter. Section 7 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999, as amended, provides that the local government is the government who operates at the grassroots. The major essence of local government is to make government nearer to the people. Schedule 4 of the Constitution went ahead to state activities expected by the local government to provide to the services of the people. Now, we've established the functions. What are the problems on ground? 774 local governments, not 20 of them can boast of world standard in terms of service delivery to the people. That is a huge one. Now what is it that we're saying? Is the local government doing well as a mercenary to convey governance and social development for the local people? We beg to differ on that. As I go to my next point, which is that Jack should not be blamed, but Jill, Jack, J-A-C, which simply means the joint account. And Jill in this debate, J-I-L-L. We all know that old poem. Jack and Jill went to the hill to fetch a pail of water. So Jack fell, broke his heel, and then Jane came, lamenting over the injury of Jack all day. Eventually, the water was not fetched. So here, Jill, J, number 1, stands for Jeopardy of Records over time. Jeopardy of Records is the summary of all activities of local government since the inception of our democracy till date. I in the Jill stands for inefficient administrators. We see them riddling the corridors of power in our local government administrations. This, in fact, is a problem. And the first L in the G is lack of credibility and discipline. And when these two are lacking, what is it that we have? Corruption, which is the order of the day in Nigeria. But much more is it alarming in the local government. 800 million naira is the amount that was stolen by a former Kano State National Chairman of National Union of Local Government Organization. Currently, as I speak to you, 6 local government chairmen from Kogi State are facing count trials of over 30 count charges in courts for prosecution over corruption. What is it we're talking about? The last L here stands for lack of focus. The focus is meant to be for the people. But then there is a shift of fixation of attention from being to the people to their own selfish and political ambitions. And this way, they fail totally. So that being said, Jack should not be blamed. Before you blame the joint account, you have to blame and settle all the dues on your account first.
If you're just joining us, this is the Expression Debate brought to you by Young Stars Foundation with support from DFID Nigeria and other partners. This youth initiative is created to give the Nigerian youth a voice to speak and increase their participation in contemporary national issues.
Wow, 16 teams battling, debating for the grand prizes of 500,000 naira, 300,000 naira, and 200,000 naira for the first, second, and third places, respectively. You know, at this point, I think I need to pass my comments.
Please.
The first speaker from Team Dunamis was very straight to the point, really confident, I must say, really intelligent, of course, and very, very vocal. So I think I'm going to root for them.
Well, I'm rooting for Team Lion. Lions, they roar like a lion.
Oh,
Even
really?
If he wasn't really roaring, but he was really giving us the point.
Okay.
But it's time to move back to the debate arena to meet the second speakers from both teams and see if they do justice to the topic.
Good day, impartial judges. Ladies and gentlemen, sections 2 and 3 of the 1999 Constitution make Nigeria a federal country and provide for 3 tiers of government simply because the drafters of the Constitution reasoned that the federal and state governments alone could not effectively administer the whole country. Hence, the need for local governments to bring about developments in the grassroots. In other words, local governments are a necessity, and as such, they need sufficient resources to effectively administer and develop their areas. For a local government cannot construct a road just by merely signing a contract, but by the corresponding disbursement of cash. And the joint account has been a clog on the financial power of local governments due to abuse by state governments. My opponent has claimed that state governments only act as a form of check and balance on some local government chairmen, citing misappropriation by some chairmen. However, as reported by postnigeria.com on 27th August 2017, it was alleged that former Edo State Governor Adams Oshiomhole was involved in a massive corruption scandal. Thus, following the logic of my opponent, should this allegation serve as an impetus for the federal government to also withhold Edo State's allocation? No. Ibi jus, ibi remedium. Where there is a right, there is a remedy. Section 7, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution gives states the right to make laws to govern the affairs of local government. And as such, they can make laws to checkmate the corrupt tendencies of local government chairmen. Besides, local government chairmen do not have constitutional immunity, and as such, they can be prosecuted for whatever wrong they commit. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be swayed by my opponent's argument of prevention, saying that prevention is better than cure. You can only prevent what you are certain is going to occur. Corruption is not certain, it is only a tendency. Lord Atkin once said, power tends to corrupt, while absolute power corrupts absolutely. And as long as local government chairmen only have power and not absolute power, corruption is only a tendency and not a certainty. And as such, you do not need a strong account to claim them. Thank you.
It is the contention of the opposition that, according to fiscal policies, according to Fiscal Policy American International, the only way a local authority can in fact be effective is if there is public participation in local affairs and there is a demand for accountability. Now, according to Paul Umaya of Zaria University, he explained that over 75% of Nigerians do not know the words that fall under their local government. Within the four walls of this room, less than half of us know the name of our local government chairman, let alone participate in local politics or demand accountability. Perhaps even more damning and damaging is the absence of qualified personnel in our local government. Now, according to United Nations Development Program Survey of 1998, only 151 of 750 local government authorities in Nigeria have planning committees. And in these committees, less than 33% of the personnel have any tertiary education. Which brings me to my second submission of the rot in local government administration in Nigeria. Now, you must understand that local government authorities have existed in Nigeria since the introduction of indirect rule until our independence, and 1976 was the only time and the first time when we actually allowed the federal government to pay stipends to the local government authorities. Before this time, they were in fact generating their own revenues and paying to the federal government. Now, subsequent to 1976, they started receiving allocations of 10%, then 15%, then 20% of the annual allocations. Now, let us put these percentages in figures. According to Farida Waziri, the former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, local governments received a total of 3.313 trillion naira within 1999 and 2007. And the only progressive development that can be seen from this money is increase in absence of accountability in our local government authorities. Thus, it is not a question of reduction. It's not a question of deduction. It's not a question of delay. It's a question of ineptitude. It's a question of corruption. It's a question of absence of management. Thus, blaming the state local government joint account for the ineptitude of the local government is like blaming an employer for the inability of his employee to manage his own affairs. Thank you.
Wow, I love the way Team Lion just gave their points, back to back and all of that. I'm voting for Team Lion. I think they did a wonderful job.
In my view, I think Team Dunami should get this. I mean, both teams actually argued intelligently, and I must say, I don't want to say on the same level because that's not possible. So it's so hard to decide.
Team Lion.
I think I'll go 50-50 on this one.
Okay.
50-50. But then we are not the judges, so let's just go to the scoring board and see what the panel of judges have decided. We'll be right back.
Wow, guys. Team Dunamis, you were amazing. Congratulations for taking it up to the next stage. I just want to wish you good luck.
Yes, so of course, you, our esteemed viewers, are not left out. You can participate in our weekly quiz to stand a chance to win recharge cards, and also join our campaign, I Choose Integrity, to stand a chance to win lots and lots of exciting prizes. To participate and win, log on to our website on the screen or check us out on our social media platforms for more information.
And as we close, I want to say a big thank you to our partners for making this a reality. And until we come your way again next week, same place, same station, we say together we can build a Nigeria free of corruption
in our lifetime if you join us.